Pressure, progression, and podiums. The road to the U.S. Women's Olympic Snowboard Big Air / Slopestyle team. It's a bumpy one, and we're going to see what's going down because there is only, only 2 World Cups left for the women to shake things up because this is how it works. I'll break it down again. If you've heard me say it, I'll say it. What they do is the U.S. will pick 4 women, and they will go to the Olympic Games in Italy, and they'll compete in slopestyle and in big air. Nobody on the women's side has been picked officially to represent in Italy. Okay, so let's just get that out of the way so we can move forward. On the men's side, we talked about that yesterday's show. There's a lot of guys trying to vie for at least 3 spots right now, so that's a tough one. But check yesterday's video if you want to see that and more on that. But Red Gerard is the only one who's secured a spot officially. I think, in my eyes, look, my opinion is my opinion. It does not mean the opinion of anyone else but myself. I think Ollie Martin's going to get on the team from his 3rd-place performance in Steamboat. But here we are at Copper Mountain, getting ready for this weekend is going to be the World Cup for Halfpipe. But let's talk about the women and the pressure and the progression and what's it going to take to make the U.S. Slopestyle team. And if you have to look at anyone at all, you got to look at Jamie Anderson, okay? You got to give her ups. I don't care if she's had a hiatus because she's had 2 babies. She's a 2-time Olympic gold medalist. She's the GOAT. She's the queen of slopestyle. And having her come back, and maybe she doesn't have the biggest spins like some of these other athletes, but she's got a rail game like no other. And maybe she's working on a couple little things, but I'll tell you what, having Jamie Anderson on the team is absolutely huge. Okay? Massive implications, as they say on YouTube. 6th place at Steamboat. She was even crowned the national champ, 15th in Beijing. That's her first contest back, was Beijing. Back before that, you got to go to Mammoth 2022, her last World Cup win. And then 2 babies later, she's back. So you got to give her credit. Having Jamie on the team, that's key. All right? Super key right there. Haley Langland. Not sure of the status right now on Haley, but she'd be positive to have on the team, but we don't know that. And when I get information on that, we'll know more on that. So let's keep going on to Hannah Norman. What's Hannah Norman's chances of making the team? Well, she really capped off the year last year at the Aspen World Cup, where she got a 5th place in big air, 8th place in slope. I remember it because I was there. We were calling that. And that was a big one. Then she shows up, world champ. She gets a top 10 finish out there. So looking solid with that 5th and 8th from last year's Aspen World Cup. That carries a lot of weight. So if you look at Hannah Norman, very good chance of her making that team. All right, let's keep it going. Next up, Julia Marino. What can you say about her that hasn't ever been said, right? Olympic silver medalist, big time. Rehabbing. She's going through a lot. She's gone through a lot, has not been able to compete. But I'll tell you what, when you have the competition knowledge that she has, 13 World Cup podiums. It's not like she's, fresh off the plane. So we'll see. But I would think with just 2 World Cups left. That's the crazy thing about that. Nobody has been picked on the women's side, and there's only 2 World Cups left. I would think that Julia Marino has a very good shot at making the team. Okay, let's keep it going. Next up, how about Rebecca Flynn? Let's talk about Rebecca Flynn. What has she done lately to kind of work her way into the conversation of representing the good old USA at the Olympics? Well, she got a 5th at World Cup in Calgary, in Cowtown. So she put up a 5th place post right there. Steamboat, just last weekend we were out there, and she got a 21st spot there. So her chances look good because of injuries and because of what is going on with the rest of the crew. She's got a good shot. That 5th place stands out in Calgary at the World Cup. So once again, it goes down to 2 World Cups left in slopestyle. Aspen, January 6th through 10th. I'll be there reporting from Aspen for that one. And we'll put some people on the team. Not sure who they're going to be on the team, but we'll see what happens in Aspen because that will be a big one. Then after Aspen, it's Locks. And there is another slopestyle event there. So Rebecca Flynn, very good chance on making that too as well. All right, the one, I'd say the wild card right here is Lily Dewanaway. Wow, a 12th in Steamboat. Now, she's a youngster. Want to think 17 or somewhere right about that. 12th in Steamboat. So showing that, she deserves to be in that conversation. She definitely does. 12th in Steamboat. But go before that. She went to both of the World Cups out there in China. She went to Secret Garden and in Beijing and finished solid. Finished in 9th in Beijing. Finished 8th at the Secret Garden. She surprised a lot of people last year at the Aspen World Cup that we did out there in a 4th place finish, right? In a World Cup, 6th in slope. It wasn't like just, 4th in big air, but 4th in big air, 6th in slope. My thoughts, Lily Dewanaway is going to make that team. I just don't see how she does not make that team. So if you had to go back through it, you got to think Jamie Anderson having her in there, awesome. Good chance to medal. Gold medal, maybe not. Maybe so. You never know what can happen. But on the podium, definitely, yes. Definitely a good chance. And then you got Julia Marino. Hopefully the rehab's going good. I was checking on Instagram and seeing what she's been up to too as well. Looking at that. So hopefully she is able to be one. So that would be 1 and 2 right there. You got to think, as we just talked about, Lily Dewanaway. You got to think about her at a number 3 spot. And then where does it go from then? Is it Hannah Norman? Does it become Hannah Norman? Does it become Rebecca Flynn? Well, only time will tell on that one. And that's going to do it. Hey, that's going to do it. Love bringing it to you. Access Media Snowboard. I'm Brad J. Subscribe, like, and I'll see you on the hill.